The economic difficulties we face as a nation right now, our economy has been in desperate need of reform for decades. It has been unbalanced because it was built on the flawed foundations and over-reliance on revenue from exploitation of oil. The reforms we have initiated are intended to create a stronger, better foundation for future growth.
I would say that President Tinubu have kept to his campaign promises. Throughout the campaign, he consistently maintained that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. And that is done very well. I would say excellent. I'll give him excellent pass mark. And it's very simple, Mr. Charles. Dollar was 460, is now 1,005. Fuel was 238, is now about 700. Diesel was 844, is now 1,415. A bag of rice is 35,000, is now about 80. A bag of beans was similar, 35, is now about 90. Gari was 27.28, is now 49.50. A tuber of yam was about 2,007 to 3,000, now is about 10,000. Tomato basket is about 40,000, that is over 150,000. Electricity is 66 kilowatts, is now over 200. You can go on and on. Our debts, even bread, which is a basic thing other countries that subside, like Egypt, bread, smaller, medium bread was 450 naira. It's not 900 naira. The big one is 900, is 1,005. Our debt, like I mentioned, was 87. By end of last year, it was actually 97. The highest we've done within that short period. Now is over 100 trillion. In fact, this year alone, the government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, have issued and taken from the system borrowing of over 16 trillion naira. You can imagine the interest at almost 20%. It's about 3.2 trillion after 12 months. At that, last year, in a period of 9 months, we spent about 5.7 trillion servicing as debt interest on our payments. So add that. So overall, you've done well. Let's even go back to the overall of the economy. By the time he took over last year, we were still the biggest economy in Africa with $477 billion as our GDP, followed by South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and Morocco. Today, we are number 4. South Africa is number 1 now, I think about $373 billion. Egypt is second, $347 billion, followed by Algeria, 266. And we are now 252 billion GDP economy. It's even worse when you go to our per capita. We are actually 1/4 of per capita of the list of these nations that I mentioned. South Africa is over 6,000 per capita. Egypt is 4,000 plus. So is Algeria. And then Morocco, which is 1,210, and we are 1,000 plus. So we actually gone low. We're coming from a low of per capita of 3,000 plus in 2014. So with every other thing have headed south.
No legacy is so rich as honesty, and truth will always set you free even though it will first make you miserable. Who will tell Tinubu the truth? That since last year, where the Supreme Court approved of him to stand on his mandate, prices of food, services, medicals, and various consumables have refused to stand on that same mandate with him. Inflation has gone at 50%, and exchange rate as the parallel market has gone up as more as 100%, as also our eternal debt is rising, and lending rates have gone far beyond the borrower. Prices of fuel and diesel have doubled, as electricity prices have gone far more than 500%. Tomatoes has moved from 250 naira to 2,500 naira, as garri climbed an all-time high from 800 naira to 2,000 to 2,200 naira, while frozen fish moved from 700 naira to 3,000 naira and still moving, as rice, milk, beans, sardine, and other minor foods now are strictly food for the rich. So telling Tinubu that the naira has also refused to stand with him in one place against the dollar is like shouting APC. Who will tell Tinubu that he requires much more than a milocon? It is my turn to govern a country like Nigeria. Who will also tell him that we can no longer tell if we're actually fighting corruption, or is it that corruption is fighting us and has held us hostage? How about insecurity? That's why no one they talk about it, because it has now been turned to a ping pong. As every day you hear that our gallant military men have eliminated scores of bandits and Boko Haram. Yet the very next day, even in Abuja, you hear that bandits have ransacked an entire community and kidnapped hundreds of school children or villagers. So who the heck are we really fighting? But while we salute the effort of our military men, make we also tell them, say, this is security thing, don't they look like business for our IO? How about our educational system? That one has become the butt of jokes, as parents are not only now sending their kids to America, Canada, and Europe, some are even going to fetch PhD from grammar school and non-existent universities in neighboring countries like Benin Republic. How about the priests, the bishops, pastors, whom after election ask citizens to bear with government and allow time for things to improve? We are told that they have jackpot to London for medicals, with our medical doctors and nurses already on the run too, since our health system is almost non-existent. Even as the clergies who left for America before the NSAS are now chasing their dream, they have been at the dreams, they chase them. Anyway, I don't call anybody name. Even the peace of our airlines is now being destroyed by rescheduling and cancellation of flights due to shortage of aviation fuel. As the airline that used to boom because of their timely departure is also now bringing doom to businessmen whose flights are delayed or cancelled and business opportunities missed these days, despite the fact that there are no roads to anywhere in the country. So we must tell President Tinubu that while the judiciary is complaining about remuneration and welfare, but every opportunity to appoint judges is allegedly hijacked by former and serving members, including politicians, as they populate the bench with family members. But really, I want to ask, if the judiciary is not day lucrative, why are politicians and former judges and the current one hustling to replace themselves with their children in the bench and spouses? Well, I'll leave you to answer that. Please don't forget to help me tell President Tinubu, that as his ministers are giving scorecard, I dare say a lot of them are missing on the radar. And they have nothing to show. He knows them, I don't even want to mention them. Even as the legislatures also have nothing to show for 1 year in office, but budget padding and change of national anthem. But who will tell President Tinubu that we can change the national anthem to the old ones? If we can change the national anthem to the old ones, we can also change government official vehicles from this current one to the old 504 Pojo, or change to the old fuel price and old foodstuffs, and even change to the old exchange rate. Please also tell him that our problem is not old or new national anthem, as companies are leaving Nigerians in Nigeria in drove due to hardship and policies inconsistencies, and a lot of people are turning to beggar in their own country by the day as a result of hardship. If I mention subsidy is gone, someone will say was never sustainable. But it was sustainable to put more money in the hands of our our governors. It is also sustainable to subsidize the exorbitant lifestyle of members of National Assembly, our presidents, our glutonic politicians, and their families and cronies. It is also sustainable to still inflate cultural prices and share palliative that never get to those that is actually meant for. I beg, you also tell me it is sustainable to tell previous government to allow the poor breeds Why the same poor is being suffocated by poverty and slaughtered by insecurity under President Tinubu's government. Anyway, everything in Nigeria is sustainable, provided it is not for the benefit of the poor. So I will therefore advocate, the earlier the president handlers begin to tell him the truth, the better for him, his team, and the country. Instead of telling us that the president is putting policies in place that will guarantee ease of doing business and affordable living, while in actual sense, there's nothing on ground to point to the fact that we will soon be out of the wood or even be self-sufficient in agriculture. Since nobody is telling you, President Tinubu, I want to tell you today that the hardship is worse than you can think of or imagine. And remember, you once told us that for Nigeria to be great again, we must vote out PDP. But today, the so-called low-cost years of PDP is now looking like golden years to Nigerians. And some of them are even saying, bring back PDP. If something drastic is not done, a little spark in our polity, because they're already on strike again now, a little spark might just inflame the entire country worse than the EDSAS. Please cut down on the list of ministers, employ technology to protect our pipeline, change those at the helm of affairs in NNPC, cut down cost of governance, and plow the funds into critical sectors like food and infrastructure. Just do something now and fast. Otherwise, no say I don't tell you. Well, make I stop here before the situation go increase my already increased blood pressure. But feel free to share and join your voices with us on all our comment sections shown on your screen so that President Tinubu can hear the truth directly from us. And finally, Mr. President, as you celebrate 1 year in office, anyone who tells you that you are doing well or telling you, is not your friend but your enemy.
Okay, after 1 year of Tinubu regime, I've been waiting to post achievement of Tinubu because yesterday was Democracy Day. I did wait, make I see where you go talk about achievement because we not say achievement too. Is it hunger? Is it insecurity? Is it inflation? What he won't tell us. My question is, for 1 year, what is his official scorecard after removing subsidy? Wetin use the money to do? People they hungry. After 1 year, we dey see governor like Abia State governor they do wetin don't achieve for 1 year. Is there? Go and look at it on social media. You go see like River State. You go see scorecard for 1 year. You go see, go to Kano, you go see wetin these people don't do. This na opposition, no, but APC people. Governor go say, I visited chief of staff at achievement. I don't want to mention the state of Monago. Monago see. So the question is, let's hear wetin your president they talk. Now, even your president is still making promises after 1 year, remaining 3 years. Now, so we go the day. You know if you tell us what you don't do with money where you remove. Subsidy where you remove. We hear say you see they pay. Subsidy where you remove for 1 year. You not tell us what you use money to do. So you know if you tell us, you still a promise. Nigerians suffering. So many Nigerians die first before you go listen to us.